What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, so we know what's going on with Marvel in 2024 already, all right? They have had to severely limit the amount of content that they are putting out there because they've been dropping the ball. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is in absolute disarray. They have no idea what they're doing anymore. So they said, hold up, time out. Let's push pause on a few of these major series that we're bringing into the MCU. Let's push pause on some of these joints. Let's see if we can figure out how to make like good content again. It's like they've forgotten how to make good content somehow. You know, maybe it's because they had actually competent filmmakers in the first three phases. Now all of them cats is gone and they're left with, just the leftovers. And the leftovers ain't getting it done. But this year they have what? They have Echo coming out. That's going to be out in a couple of days, actually. And we all saw that fight scene, right? Yeah, we all saw how that thing looked. That looks like absolute hot garbage. Hot garbage. They're dropping it all at once. They're going to rip the Band-Aid. Hopefully nobody's talking about this thing in 2 more weeks. That's how Marvel's looking at it. And then they got Deadpool 3, which I think is probably going to be well received. At least, the previous 2 Deadpool movies, people seem to like those. So I think Deadpool 3 is going to be all right. And then somewhere they got Agatha. And I don't think anybody gives a damn about Agatha. I don't think anybody is checking for Agatha whatsoever. So with all of the disarray and all of the problems, and we only getting 3 things this year coming out of the MCU. One has to wonder, has Marvel started figuring some things out? Okay? Have they started figuring some things out? Have they picked up what we're putting down out here in the fan base? Have they finally started listening to the fans?
Listen to the fans.
Because that's what we've been telling them to do this entire time. If you listen to the fans, you can't go wrong. You'll be just fine. Just focus on what the fans are telling you is the problem.
Really listen to the fans.
Listen to us. Stop listening to the talking heads and all of the pundits and your friends in Hollywood. Stop listening to them. Listen to the audience. Listen to your fan base, right? So you wonder if they started to do that. And then you see this article, this is on comicbookmovie.com. Marvel Studios executive explains what they've learned from recent failings and how it will change TV shows. You're like, oh, okay. So they have learned some things. They noticed that, we've been failing. We haven't been doing well. Okay. Our heads aren't in the sands with it. We've been absolutely dropping the ball. But you wonder, okay, where are they coming from with this? If you've learned from the recent failings, what changes are you going to make? Now, you guys already know they ain't going to make the changes that we want them to make, okay? This is Marvel we're talking about. This is woke Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige is the wokest of them all. So this guy, he's not changing nothing. Not that's going to satisfy the fans. But let's see what they're talking about. It says, talking to comicbookmovie.com about the upcoming release of Echo, Marvel Studios head of streaming, television, and animation, Brad Winderbaum, addressed how the MCU is learning from its recent missteps and what will change moving forward. So are they going to get rid of all the woke crap? Are you going to stop race swapping? Are you going to stop gender swapping? Like one of the first things, after Bob Iger said, we need to quiet the culture noise over here at Disney. We got to get rid of all of this culture noise stuff. One of the first things they announced after that, oh yeah, we're going to have a gender swapped Silver Surfer. We're going to have a female Silver Surfer along with a race swap Mr. Fantastic. Senor Fantastico, with Pedro Pascal. We're going to have all of that going on because, of course, that's what we want to do. They ain't quiet and no culture noise over here. So it's like, is that where they're going? They're going to get rid of all the woke nonsense that kind of drove people away from the MCU in the first place? Are they going to get back to telling good stories? Are they going to bring in competent writers and directors and people that know what they're doing and give them the ball again? All right. You had Jon Favreau in the first phase, right? You had Joe Johnston in the first phase, like great filmmakers. That's what you had. Even Joss Whedon, who understood nerd culture, he understood how to bring the Avengers together and make it a good film. And it was a good film. You had the Russo brothers. You had James Gunn. Well, you ain't got him no more. But you had good filmmakers in the first 3 phases. That's the reason that it all worked. That's the reason it all came together. All of them dudes is gone. So what are you going to do moving forward? Well, here's what they got to say. We've learned a lot, he admitted. We produced a lot of content very quickly, and we're primarily a filmmaking company. So you see that the first round of shows have a very movie-like structure. They arc out the characters. By the end, they feel like a standalone limited series. Moving forward, our content is going to feel a lot more like television, Winderbaum added. It kind of drives towards the horizon, drives towards the future, and keeps people engaged for longer periods of time in the more lean-back setting of your living room. See, so they think that, it's just the way we were making the content. That's the problem. We need to change up how we're making content. And, we've talked about this in the past, but yeah, what it says here, basically, yeah, we're going to have a more traditional manner of making TV shows with series Bibles and showrunners and all of that kind of stuff. Are you going to get rid of the woke nonsense, though? Are you going to get rid of the race swaps and the gender swaps? Are you going to give us actual characters that we can sink our teeth into? Or are you, because look, you could argue that the best series that they've ever done is WandaVision and Loki, and that came at the very beginning. So, and it had everything to do with the characters that we were interested in and the types of way they were telling the story. It had nothing to do with the fact that, well, this wasn't a traditional manner of how we were telling this TV series. It had nothing to do with that. It was like, hey, we like this story. We like this character. Yeah, give us more. It wasn't overtly woke, It wasn't preaching and, sermonizing, which is what we ended up getting with, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, It's like you freaking sitting there listening to a sermon. You got to do better, Senator, and all of that crap. It wasn't that. That's what we want to get rid of, Marvel. And that's the lessons you should have learned. Tell whatever stories you want to tell, all right? But get rid of all of the woke nonsense. It's like they haven't learned a damn thing. They said up until recently, they've shot movies with reshoots later to fix what wasn't working. That's neither cost-effective nor something which works for episodic storytelling, hence why more than a few MCU shows have underwhelmed fans. Secret Invasion is the most recent example. Secret Invasion is stupid and woke. Okay? This was a terrible show. This was a god-awful show. It had nothing to do with how it was made. It was the story you were telling. It was the characters and how you used the characters. You completely neutered Nick Fury. And people were like, oh man, a whole little spy invasion, secret invasion with Nick Fury? Oh my God, this would be amazing. Nah, it was trash. Okay, it was garbage because of how you told the story. See, again, these cats, it's like they don't understand the problem. They don't understand why they keep failing. Marvel, how many times do you need to touch the hot stove to know this is not the thing to touch, okay? Get your hand off the woke hot stove. It's burning down your company. But they keep touching it and touching it and touching it. And it's like, okay, then I guess we're just going to stop watching. Eventually, I guess they'll figure it out, But it's like, how many times do we have to go back to this? We as the fans keep telling you, stop making woke bullshit. That's not what we're here for. We're here for good characters. The same stuff that we got in the first 3 phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is what we want now. But unfortunately, they think, well, it's more of a traditional manner of making TV series. We need a series Bible and a showrunner. It's like, none of this stuff is going to matter. If the showrunner is a woke moron, it won't matter. It won't make any difference, okay? Just like Newt from Aliens, it won't make any difference. It's not going to matter how many showrunners and series Bibles you pile up on this crap. It's not going to make the show any better. There's all kinds of bad television out there, and they got series Bibles and showrunners, but they're bad television shows. And that's what you guys are making because you don't listen to the damn fans. That's the problem with Marvel. It's probably going to take Kevin Feige a while to get this franchise back on the right track, if ever. Is Kevin Feige going to get this on the right track? I don't know. I have serious doubts about that. Because again, if this is how they're talking over there at Marvel, if this executive and what he's saying, if this is just a small microcosm of the kind of conversations that are going on the studio lot at Marvel, it's over with. Okay, they haven't learned a damn thing. They think they got to fix. Oh, we just got to fix our method. Or, our formula is off base a little bit. We got to just tweak the formula here and there. With our television shows, we'll be back on the right track. No, if you still have bad writers, if you still have woke content, if you still have MCU permeating this, it won't change anything. I don't care how well structured the TV show is. Nobody will be there for it. You got to excite us with interesting characters and good series and movies. That's what Loki, honestly, Loki is a good series. The second season, I wasn't as enamored with the first season, but I thought the second season was actually pretty good. It's a pretty good show. However, nobody cares about this show. Why? Because of the rest of the mess that MCU got in. That's a well-made television show. And I don't know if it had a showrunner and a series Bible and any of that crap, but it's just a good TV show. I enjoyed it. But nevertheless, you got bad MCU content coming right after that with the Marvels. Now, what are you going to do about that stuff? Say, well, we're a motion picture company. Now, we make movies. Well, that was a movie. What happened? That's the worst thing you guys have ever done, at least in terms of the box office. Have they learned their lessons about that? Why that film failed? Because you targeted an audience that absolutely wasn't coming to watch this thing. But see, they won't understand that. They just don't understand it. Disney Bob Iger, Bob Iger appears to be taking a hands-on approach to fixing Marvel Studios' output. He says, I think we condition the audience to expect that these films will be on streaming platforms relatively quickly, and that the experience of accessing them and watching them in the home is better than it ever was. It's a valid point. After all, why go to watch the Marvels in theaters when MCU movies arrive so quickly on streaming? I agree with that. And Miss Marvel is right there to watch for free. 100%, I agree with that. I said that as well. That's their fault. That's another lesson that they could learn. Hey, you know what? After a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie is done in theaters, you're not going to see this thing on streaming for like 6 months or whatever. It's not going to be anywhere available on streaming. That would actually help because now it makes it you got to go. You want to see this Marvel Cinematic Universe? You got to go see it in theaters. And if you don't catch it in theaters, it's going to be a minute. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if nobody goes to see it theaters to catch it because nobody cares about your stupid franchise anymore, yeah, that's a horse of a different color. You can't get people excited to go see trash. I'm sorry. It's just not the way it works, all right? But anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video because, look, Marvel hasn't learned a damn thing. Marvel has learned nothing, all right? They're going to continue to double down and triple down on the woke nonsense. Again, you saw it here. It's like, okay, what lessons have we learned? We just need a series Bible and a showrunner and everything will be A-okay. Yeah, series Bibles and showrunners with woke television and woke movies won't make a difference, okay? Won't make a difference at all. But you guys let me know what you think. Jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.